We're being asked about measurements here. Some key facts that you need to know. First one is that 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. You can actually get this one off your ruler. You get your ruler out, then at the top we're going up in centimeters, 1, 2, 3, but the little divisions are actually millimeters. So if you count them, not all the bars, but like the intervals as you go up, you'll see that there are 10 intervals, and each one of these little intervals is a millimeter. So you'll get 10 millimeters in a centimeter. But on the bottom, by the way, we have inches, which is the top is called the metric system, and the bottom is like an older system called it's an imperial unit. Still get used, but here we're being asked about centimeters. It's easier to convert with the metric system because you just end up timesing by 10 or dividing by 10, where it's more complicated with the imperial system, which is why we've abandoned it essentially. So okay, that means if I'm going from centimeters to millimeters, I would times by 10 because I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, so I'm going to get more of them. If I go the other way, however, then I'm going to divide by 10. And that's what's going on here. I'm going to divide 120 by 10, and it's going to become 12. Just very quickly, why does it become 12? Because I've got 120, and this is hundreds, tens, and units. If I divide by 10, I basically shift everything down the place value table. The hundreds become tens, the tens becomes units, and so on. So it becomes 12, and then 0 sort of becomes we have the decimal point after the units or the ones, and then we get tenths, and I've got 0 tenths. I don't worry about writing them in, I just leave it as 12. Sometimes people say just take off the 0, but you shouldn't think of it like that because it's not gonna happen in the later questions. We need to think about moving down the place value table. Right, 120 centimeters into meters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Okay, we've got a meter stick and it's made up of 100 of little things like this on my smaller ruler. Okay, that is a fact that you should know. Try and learn it. And so going this way, I'm going to times by 100. Going the other way, I'm going to divide by 100. And that's what I'm doing here. So now I've got 120 hundreds, tens, units, dot, tenths, and hundredths, and I'm moving it actually 2 places down the place value table, so it becomes 1.20. I just write the 1.2. I don't need to indicate the 0. That's like sort of automatically there. So I've just tried to explain it in terms of the place value table. I know that this is a calculator paper, and we could literally just do 120 divided by 100, and then press the SD button. It does it for us, but I think it's important to try and learn this without a calculator as well, timesing divided by 100. Lastly, we're going from meters to kilometers. Now, 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Now, the first two are normally just used for length, but this one is used in all sorts of different places. Kilograms to grams, it's the same thing. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So what do we do? Again, we times by 100 this way, sorry, 1,000 rather this time. So going this way, I divide by 1,000. So I'm going to do 120 divided by 1,000. I'm just going to move it one more place down the place value table. It's going to be 0.12. And there we have it.